This is the Kindy Rockstars Podcast, Season 4. Bringing you incredibly talented singers, artists, creators, and producers in the genre of children's music. I'm your host, Patrick Adams. Each episode will feature songs, albums, videos, or live performances, along with great stories from the artists themselves. Kindy Rockstars Season 4 is proud to be supported and sponsored by Waltmania Public Relations, serving the family entertainment community for more than 20 years. And now, on with the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Kindy Rockstars. Joining me tonight is Boom and perhaps Dr. Rock of the Sugar Free Allstars. Welcome to the show. We've got Boom with us here, otherwise known as Chris Weiser. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, sir?
I am doing good. All right. Well, hopefully Dr. Rock will get to join us at some point in this podcast, but if not, he will be here in spirit, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yes, he is in spirit.
All right, Sugar Free Allstars. I'd love to hear your story. How did you come together, form as a band? How did you start making music for kids?
So the band started in 2000, actually. And we were playing in clubs for grownups, primarily. We weren't doing any kids or children or family shows at all. And we just kind of had songs that were kind of goofy, a little, like, everything has always been like groove oriented, but sometimes the subject matter was kind of silly, even for that, for grownups, but people would like them. And then so we would put them on albums. Like, we have a song called He's Okay, the Spider Song, which we play at every one of our shows. Well, that was actually on our very first Sugar Free Allstars album, like before playing for kids and families was even in our mind. So people would buy that. If people that bought the album that had kids would just be like, man, my kid is all about this spider in the shower song. It's like, so after hearing that so many times, it's like, it just kind of became this thing where, like, hey, well, maybe one day we'll put out a kids album. So like over the years, like, kind of would write songs like about spiders or taking a bath or like my cat or whatever. And we would play them for, like, at our club shows. It was just kind of a joke. It's like, oh, this is funny. Like, we're playing kids songs for a group of grownups, and they would think it's hilarious. So here we live in Oklahoma City. Here in Oklahoma City, they have lots of, like, kind of festival kind of things every year. And the Arts Council of Oklahoma City over the summer has this like Twilight concert series, and every week they have a different band on a Sunday evening. And so we were playing one of them, and it was like, oh man, there's a whole lot of families here. Let's throw in these silly family tunes we've been doing. And so after the show, the very next week, the library system in the Oklahoma City area, Metropolitan Library System, called, and they were like, hey, one of our employees was at that show. Would you guys be interested in doing a tour of the library system next? Because this was like in August of one year, and this would have been for like the summer of the following year. And we're like, well, that's hilarious. We've been talking about that for a while. So yeah, that'd be great. So we were in the process of finishing what we didn't realize at the time was our last grown-up album. It came out in like January, but we were like, well, if we're going to be doing these shows, we're doing all original music at these shows. And if somebody wants to take a copy of the songs home, we should go ahead and record an album. So, and it was literally just to be able to sell if people like the songs. We weren't thinking of this being like a shift in our trajectory or anything. So we recorded it and played it. Like when we released it, we put it up on CD Baby, and I listed children's music. Well, there was we got a message from a guy who was Warren Truitt is the guy's name. He's not doing it anymore, but he had a blog about family music. But he's like, hey, my name's Warren Truitt. I have a blog, but I'm also a children's librarian for the New York Library System. Could I get a review copy? And I was like, oh, okay, sure. So I sent him a copy. And those were the days when people would have blogs and then have like list recommended blogs on the right side. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll just start sending them to all these people. So I'd like just kind of just started mailing them out. And one of the places I mailed them out was XM Kids. It wasn't Sirius XM then, it was XM Kids, because that was when Sirius and XM were two different channels, satellite radio channels. So I think it was, I don't know, like a month later, a friend of ours who we kind of got to know, who is a family musician also, was like, "Hey, congratulations on your song being on the Kids Place Live countdown." I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, well, they have like a top 13 countdown and your song's on. I was like, what? Because I was like, I didn't remember who I'd sent it to. I just like, okay, I just sent it to whoever. And yeah, so the first song on our very first album ended up being like #1 on the station for 2 weeks. And we're like, well, maybe we should think about this some more. And so we started booking library shows and booking fewer club shows. And then it just kind of like our club show attendance started getting lower, and like the family music thing was taking off. We kind of stumbled into a style that nobody had been really doing up until that point, like more funky. We call it family funk, that nobody had been doing up until that point. So it just kind of took off, and we just kind of followed it, And so at one point we just like, we're not going to even bother doing like club shows anymore. So that's kind of it. It just kind of was an accident, because I know like a lot of our friends, they had kids, and they're like, oh, I'm going to write some songs for kids. Well, this was before I was even married. So like luckily by the time I had kids, we were already kind of established in that world, which was really nice.
Yeah, no, your evolution is kind of a unique story because, as I said, I tend to ask this question for first time guests, and most of them, yeah, it's when they had kids, and either they were exposed to kids' music or they just wanted to make it for their kids.
Right.
And yeah, to kind of organically exist, but then end up there. That's a fun story.
Well, I remember after I started sending the albums out, I was like, well, maybe I should kind of check into this more. I start researching because I had no idea what was even going on. I knew what I listened to when I was a kid, but we weren't familiar with anything going on in that world at all. And that was that was 07, 08. So it was kind of like right as the whole, I guess, Kindy movement got started. The phrase kind of got coined around that time. And so we were kind of like, luckily, kind of part of I guess, maybe the first wave. Because like at that time, like Recess Monkey was putting out a lot of albums. And I think Skidoo was kind of getting started, like, I don't know when his first album came out, but it was just kind of like all these people that are kind of well known now, or were well known at one time, we're all kind of doing it at the same time as like this group think, like everybody's like, and a lot of the acts were kind of like us. They had maybe had kids, but they had also had experience like playing in clubs or playing, not kids music. So I think that helped the quality of the music too, because it's like, oh, we're just going to take what we've normally been doing and just, modify it a little bit and just do it for kids, as opposed to like completely changing the sound. Because like with our stuff, like, I mean, it's not a whole lot different than the music that we were doing just for grownups. We just changed a lot of this, obviously the subject matter many times.
That's exactly it. It's the topic and the lyrics.
That's it. Yeah, the music is.
You could write a pop song or a rock song using the same exact instrumentation, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So it totally happened organically. It was like it literally we thought it was going to be a one-off. We're like, oh, this is going to be our kids. It's going to be like a novelty album, our kids album. But it started taking off, and because we had enough material for another couple of, I guess, grown-up albums after that, and like, oh well, maybe we won't pursue that. We're getting some traction, not just around here, but like on the national level. So how about we just detour? So it's definitely a nice way for it to happen. Like just we tell people we stumbled into it, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. All right. Tell me a little bit about Dr. Rock and what's kind of the dynamic with you two in the
So,
band.
so Dr. Rock, so he's the drummer, two-piece drum kit, bass drum, snare drum, hi-hat cymbal, one cymbal. And so he's like just as visible as I play keys and I sing and kind of the front man, but like there's a lot of banter back and forth on stage. The shows, we kind of tend to fall into a set if you will, that of songs that kind of work, but like it's very fluid. He and I've known each other since college. We met uh in jazz band at college actually, and had kind of fallen out of touch over the years and then ended up back together playing in this band. So it's like I'm trying to think of how long ago that was. I mean, it's probably 30 something years that we've known each other, so he's more quiet in some ways, but he's gotten less quiet because, well, there's only two people in a band and, you have to like talk. So wears sunglasses all the time and is kind of like fedora, that's his thing. But great drummer, just very, what somebody call him a meat and potatoes drummer. Like nothing fancy, but holds down the beat, which is what we, like our deal is kind of funky, upbeat. The beat is really kind of the most important part of what we do. So he's the perfect man for the job.
Yeah, people are definitely going to hear that in the couple songs that we're going to feature today. So
yeah,
let's if you want, we can go ahead and talk about the new EP you have out. It's called Extended Play. Oddly enough, EP.
Yes, there you go. And it was like, oh, hey, it's an EP and it stands for Extended Play. That's perfect for a family music album title. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So our last full length album was out in 2016. And kind of like slowed down after that. And then COVID happened. And I was telling somebody the other day, like during the shutdown, there were some people that got super productive and there were others that like didn't do anything. And like, we kind of fell into the latter category, like just kind of like, so it affected everybody differently, obviously. Coming out of that, we're just like, man, we haven't released anything in a really long time. We need to have something. So we had some songs that had been on previous albums or on albums when we were playing grown-up music. And then I had like 2 or 3 new songs. It's like, hey, let's just put all these together and that'll be enough for an EP. And then it just worked out. It's like, oh, this will be nice. And then now the idea is like, okay, hopefully we're back on track and we can start working on a full length album again.
Very cool. So we're going to feature 2 songs from the EP, Extended Play. And the first song is called I Like to Climb on Things. So tell me a little bit about this one. I think I know I know what or who inspired it, but
yes.
Go ahead and tell the story.
So my youngest son, when he was younger, and many parents can relate with this, he was a climber. He like literally, without, just blatantly liked to climb on things. And it just hit me. It's like, oh, well, that'd just be a funny subject for a song. And when I write stuff, a lot of times like the hook comes to me first, like the main hook just will pop. That comes to me easily. And then writing the lyrics, all the in-between stuff is like, that's where like, oh, I gotta work at this. But that I like to climb on things popped in my head. And I was like, oh, it could be like I always felt it was like kind of an LL Cool J going back to Cali kind of groove, and then Dr. Rock and I were both in marching band in college. And so the middle section has like the drumline thing in it. And it's just like the idea of like just a song about climbing on things and what kind of things you like to climb on and like your philosophy of climbing. Like, it's like not giving up. Like one of the lines is like, sometimes I fall and bump my chin, but I get back up and start climbing again. It's like, get back up on the horse, So we made some references in there for that only parents would get, like, about Smokey and the Bandit and Trans Ams and stuff that like, kids aren't going to get that, unless their parents tell them about it. But, we like to, and that's another thing too. We like to, when it makes sense, we like to throw some bones to the parents listening. Because you see their ears perk up. It's like, oh wait, that was for me. That wasn't for my 4-year-old. They're not going to have any clue what he just said, what he's talking about. So
I loved the Smokey and the Bandit reference.
Yeah. I mean, if you were into 80s music, you're probably of the age that you knew about those movies. The Burt Reynolds.
Yep.
He was the man back in the day.
Early 80s, man. Late 70s, early 80s.
Late 70s, early 80s. I think the first Smokey and the Bandit was probably late 70s. But it's funny, this is a little aside. One of my friends who's about my age pointed out there is an error in the song because make reference to like the Trans Am that Burt Reynolds drove in Smokey and the Bandit 1, 2, and 3. And he's like, well, actually, the third Smokey and the Bandit was a new Trans Am. I was like, oh no, it wasn't like the 77 Black Firebird. Oh, it's like, that's okay. But that's a little Easter egg to see if maybe people will be able to call us on it.
He might have been one of 5 people that would caught that.
Right? Like I didn't even realize that. I shouldn't see. That's right. You got to do your research.
Too funny. Yeah, and I love the fact because I do this too. The song obviously is sung from the perspective of the kid.
Yeah.
That even ups the charm level because when he gets like, yeah, I'm gonna climb anything, even a polar bear.
Right. Yeah. But only when it's taking a nap.
Exactly.
Only when it's taking a nap.
All right. Well, this is a really cool song. We're going to play it now. Here it is. I Like to Climb on Things by Sugar Free Allstars.
I like to climb on things. I like to get up high. I climb up on a jet, put my hands in the sky. I like to climb on things. Yeah, it's just what I do. The sofa, the counter, the bureau too. I like to climb on things.
You like to what?
I climb on things. I like to climb on things.
You like to what?
Things. I like to climb on things. Yeah, it's my favorite sport. Cause everything's a mountain when you are this short. I like to climb on things. Sometimes I fall and bump my chin, but I get back up, start climbing again. I like to climb on things.
You like to what?
I climb on things. I like to climb on things.
You like to what?
I climb on things. Hey, what's that over there?
Over where?
Over there, in the kitchen. Is that a refrigerator?
Looks like it.
I'm gonna climb on that. Hey, what's that over there?
Over where?
Over there, in the front yard. Is that a mailbox?
Looks like it.
Oh, I'm gonna climb on that too. Hey, what's that over there?
Over where?
Over there, in the driveway. Is that a 1977 black Pontiac Firebird Trans Am? Just like the one Burt Reynolds drove in Smokey and the Bandit 1, 2, and 3?
Looks like it.
Oh, I am definitely climbing on that. Hey, what's that over there?
Over where?
Way over there. That little white thing. Ooh, it's getting bigger. Oh, it's getting closer. That's why it's getting bigger. Whoa, it's getting a lot bigger. Oh, that is huge. Wait a minute. Is that a polar bear?
Looks like it.
I am not gonna climb on that. I like to climb on things. Yeah, it's just what I do. I climb up on the TV when you're watching Scooby-Doo. I like to climb on things. Yeah, it's just what I said. If you sit still long enough, I'll even climb on your head. I like to climb on things.
You like to what?
I climb on things. I like to climb on things.
You like to what?
I climb on things. I like to climb on things.
You like to what?
I climb on on things. And just for the record, as soon as that polar bear takes a nap and is in a deep sleep, I'm gonna climb on that too.
And that was I Like to Climb on Things. All right, the next song we're going to talk about is called Sixth Grade Band. Tell us about this one.
Well, once again, the title is the subject of the song. Dr. Rock and I both are products of public school band. The song I actually had written, it was on an album from a band I was in before Sugar Free Allstars, like in the late 90s, when I was just playing in clubs for adults. And when we started doing the family stuff, we're like, oh, this song would be like, this actually would be a pretty funny song to put on one of our albums. So it was actually on our 2010 album, I think, Funky Fresh and Sugar Free. And so then when we were thinking about doing the EP, we're like we've learned over the years that many of our friends who are band directors, because Dr. Rock and I were both music ed majors in college. And so many of our friends are currently band directors or have been band directors or choir directors. But we've discovered over the years that several of our friends or people we know would play that song for their sixth grade beginning band classes. And so we're like, oh man, this would be a great like back to school single. So I kind of listened to it. It's like, well, I feel like it needs a little updating. So like we took the original tracks and then we added a horn section and added some, some extra keyboard, guitar parts and such. And just remixed it and did the video. Hoping that now that some more of our sixth grade or band director friends will play it. But it's funny because the song's just been around forever. And, like, in music education circles, they love it. And we play, sometimes we'll play it live. Sometimes we've done several shows with orchestras and we have an arrangement of this song. And in the middle of it, we'll do like a name that tune, or like that, these are songs that you like, if you're learning a new instrument and band, you'll start with the easy songs, you get harder and harder, and then we'll kind of do a name that tune. But anybody that's been in like public school music programs or private school, beginning school music programs, orchestra, band or anything where you learn an instrument can completely relate to this song because there's a special kind of magical chaos to the whole affair, since I was in since I was in beginning band, it's like, oh, okay, well, just talk about how it was. So, and this one's, we like this one because in the middle of it, we have the section where it sounds like an actual sixth grade band.
Yeah, sixth grade band, day one. And then
a
little later in the song.
Maybe like the third month. I haven't in a long time, but I used to teach private woodwind lessons and I would go into band classes and sometimes that I would say that actually maybe sounds more like a couple of months in because they're actually in the band book and they're playing a page that has the notes on the page. And so there's a reference to the Essential Elements book, page number 14. And like all our band director friends or anybody that's in band class looks it up. It's like, holy cow, exercise 14 really is Mary Had a Little Lamb. I was like, gotta be accurate.
I love this song too. Like I have two kids who went through band.
Oh, nice.
One of them was a saxophone player and he got really good over the course of, but I think he started right at around sixth grade.
Right.
And my daughter, not necessarily sixth grade, but she picked up guitar towards high school.
Sure.
So very good. And I want to take a minute to talk about the videos for these songs. Both I Like to Climb on Things and Sixth Grade Band, because videos are excellent. So I encourage everybody to go to Sugar Free Allstars YouTube channel and check these videos out. But tell me a little bit about your experience making these videos. So
the one for Climb on Things, we thought it was only fair that my youngest, who the song was about, be the star of the video. The video is like about a kid, Alec Duclimb is his name. Alec Duclimb. and like he's trying to set the world record climbing, like world record for climbing. So that's kind of the whole thing. He does like a press conference where he's talking about it, and he's got his Adidas, like track suit, and it's, in the build up, and got the middle section where showing the polar bear and the different kind of things that they like to climb on. And so that one was a lot of fun. I had to make, and my youngest son is not typically the one that focuses as much as the other one, so we had to do some finagling, but he did a great job on that one. And then the 6th grade band song, we ended up being able to do it with an actual school band that's close around here. They were doing summer band, and so they would meet every day anyway. So it was just, there's like, hey, if you want to come be a part of this music video, come back in the afternoon, the day that you have summer band. And they were on point. Like, they just nailed it. A whole group of 30 to 40 kids that were just like on point the whole time. So, and we're just, I mean, some of the stuff in that video, some of the funny stuff in the video that they do was like them, like they just came up with it. It's like, this is hilarious. That was maybe one of the most fun videos we've ever made.
Yeah. They were total pros.
You
could tell they were having a good time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's play the song. It is 6th Grade Band by Sugar Free Allstars.
Be a big old rock star one day. But for now, I'm stuck right here behind this music stand. This is just another day. I'm in the 6th grade band. I'm in the 6th grade band. Somebody give us a hand. I'm in the 6th grade band. I'd like for everyone to turn to number 14 in their Essential Elements book. Horns up. 1, 2, ready, play. Sometimes that 6th grade band is an awfully dangerous place. Like last week, my good friend Dr. Rock got locked in a tuba case. But pretty soon we're gonna go off to band camp, and there's something you gotta understand. We learned how to rock. In the 6th grade band. I'm in the 6th grade band. Somebody give us a hand. I'm in the 6th grade band. Stand on up and give us a hand. We're living life in the 6th grade band. Stand on up, give us a hand.
That was Sixth Grade Band, and that wraps up our mini song feature from Extended Play by Sugar Free Allstars. All right, boom. Let everybody know, where can they stream, download, or purchase your album, and how can they find and connect with you guys on social media?
So we're on all the streaming networks, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon, all of them. We're on all of them, all the places. You can we purchase our album on our website, which is sugarfreeallstars.com. Socials, we're on Instagram at Sugar Free Allstars, Facebook at Sugar Free Allstars, and Twitter or X or whatever it is these days, SFAS. And we can be reached at any of those places.
Very cool. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been great talking to you. It was a lot of fun listening to your music and watching your videos, and look forward to the next album or release from you guys.
We appreciate it. We appreciate what you're doing as well too. And once again, looking forward to the third 80s album. third and final. Third time's the charm, right?
Absolutely.
It's a trilogy. You got the 80s trilogy.
That's right. Just like Star Wars, the original Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah, there you go. Or Lord of the Rings.
There we go. Yep. All right. Well, again, thank you for coming on the show, and talk to you again soon.
Awesome. Thanks, sir. Have a great one.
All right, you too.